What's going on, family? Welcome back to another video. WNBF Pro Physique competitor Patty Lifts checking in with you guys. I really appreciate you guys clicking in today's video. If you guys are not subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe for exclusive fitness content. And if you guys don't like me later, you can always unsubscribe. So let's get into today's topic, and it is how to perform a mini cut. And I'm going to be explaining the entire sequence on what you guys have to do to implement a mini cut into your regimen. So if you're looking to drop fat fast, maintain muscle, and just quickly tighten up maybe for an event, or if you're trying to extend your bulk, this video is for you. So the first thing we have to go over is the length of time performing a mini cut, and generally you want to go for 6 to 8 weeks. Anything longer than that is going to be considered a regular cut. Now, there is a difference between a mini cut and a regular cut because a protocol is going to be a little bit different. In a mini cut, you're going to be a little bit more aggressive with the cut to ensure you're dropping fat very quickly, because you're only going to be cutting for a short period of time. Now, there's a way to implement this to still maximize muscle retention and lose fat as fast as possible while ensuring that your metabolism is still as high as possible. So to ensure that all of these three things are in check, we need to make sure we're losing weight at a specific rate. And this magical number is going to be losing 1% of your body weight per week. Now, if you lose anything more than that, you're gonna risk muscle loss and you're gonna risk dropping your metabolism. So I do recommend moving at that 1% rate. So if you're 100 pounds, you're gonna be losing 1 pound per week. If you're 200 pounds, you're gonna be losing 2 pounds per week. So to ensure this actually happens, you have to set up your calories. Now, there's two ways to do this. What you can do for the first way, the easiest way, is to actually track for an entire week and see where your calories are at on average. Look how your body is reacting and then adjust from there. So if you're maintaining, you know you're at maintenance. If you're still gaining a bit of weight, you're in a surplus. And if you're losing weight, you know you're in a deficit. So depending on how your body's reacting, you want to make sure you are in a little bit more aggressive calorie deficit. So look at your maintenance and approximately drop it 500 calories. Now, that is going to be the calculation for you to drop 1 pound per week. So you might want to adjust it to ensure that you're losing that 1% of body weight per week. So if your aim is 1.5 at 150 pounds or 1.75 at 175 pounds, ensure you increase that caloric deficit. Now, another way to do it is to go online and do an online calculator. Now, there's only one bad thing with doing this, is that it's calculated based on an average person. Now, for the most part, the calculation is going to be close, but it won't be exact. So the same thing is going to apply. Try this out for a week, and then depending on how your body's reacting, adjust the calories. You know, if you're not losing weight at the correct rate, then drop your calories. If you are gaining weight, drop even more. And if you're maintaining, you know, you're gonna have to drop it down 5 to 750, whatever you need to hit. So now that we know what calories to hit, we have to break down the composition of those calories so we can control the composition of your body. Now, since we are moving at a more aggressive rate, I personally like to try and keep protein higher. So what is recommended in the research is 0.82 to 1.4 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass. Now, to be even more safe, you can go 1 pound per body weight. There generally isn't really any negative side effects of having higher protein, and it's only going to help keep you in a more anabolic state and ensure that there are enough protein and amino acids for you to able to recover, maintain the muscle, or even grow muscle if you do have some advanced programming in place. So since we know how much protein to intake, we need to look at fats. Now, fats are an essential nutrient. It means our body needs those 100% to live. Generally, fats have the role of regulating your hormones, so this is something you need to ensure you're at least getting a minimum of. And I like to look at it as at least have 20 to 25% of your calories go towards fat. Now, moving on, we're gonna move the rest of your calories into carbs. So then you should have your macro split. So moving on to training, and this one's gonna be super easy, is if you're running a hypertrophy based program already, you can continue with this. Now, if you're doing something more strength oriented or maybe power building oriented, I do recommend switching to a hypertrophy based program to maximize your hypertrophy stimulus so you can maybe even grow muscle or at least maintain what you have. Now, when you're in a caloric deficit, you're gonna be more susceptible to muscle loss. So you want to ensure you're providing your body enough stimulus to ensure your muscle is being maintained. So breaking down your rep ranges, I would say 50% of your rep ranges should be in between that 8 to 12 rep range. 25% of your rep ranges should be between 5 and 7, and the other 25% can be 13 all the way up to 30. Looking at the research, all of these rep ranges will induce hypertrophy at a very similar level, but you're probably gonna get the best bang for buck in between that 8 to 12 range. Our whole goal is to try and progressive overload and accumulate volume over time to ensure we're making progress. Now, if you can make this occur, we can be confident that you actually are performing a body recomposition where your volume is accumulating, you're progressive overloading, and you're losing weight. So you could be building muscle and losing fat at the same time. But the thing is, generally when you're losing weight, your strength is going to drop. One thing I want you to look out for is if your strength is dropping, don't adjust your rep ranges. Ensure you are sticking to the rep ranges you're supposed to hit, hitting the correct relative intensity, which is your RPE, rate of perceived exertion. A lot of people start losing strength and then they end up lifting heavier just to be able to maintain their strength and get focused on what they can move in the gym. Now, rewinding a little bit, since our goal is hypertrophy based, we don't necessarily want to maintain strength. We want to provide our body the highest hypertrophy stimulus possible. So to be honest, that was one of my problems in the past, where I would be taking a power building approach and then I would start to taper my training more towards strength. Now I feel like I would be leaving gains on the table. I feel like I could have lost muscle, and I feel like the fatigue is going to be a little bit higher when you're doing performance-based training, especially in a caloric deficit. So moving on to cardio, what I recommend is starting off very slow. We want to use the 80-20 rule and look at 80% of the caloric deficit is going to be through diet, and 20% of your caloric deficit is going to be used through cardio. So, starting off at 2 to 3 times per week, 20 to 30 minutes per session is a great start, because we don't want to jump into something that we can't maintain, because as the weeks go by and as you are losing weight, you are going to have to either drop your calories to ensure you're still in a caloric deficit, or you're going to have to increase your activity levels. One thing you can do to regulate your activity is actually count your steps. So have a minimum amount of steps per day, such as 8K, 10K, and you can use wearable technology such as your Apple Watch or a Fitbit. And if you don't have one of those, most of your phones can actually do the job for you. So just keep it in your pocket and count the steps at the end of each day. The reason why I say this is because when people are in a cut, naturally you're going to drop energy. You're going to feel a little bit more lethargic. And if you do keep your steps up, it's going to keep you active, versus if you just follow your natural habits and you're feeling tired or more lethargic, you're more likely to sit on the couch or just be a little bit lazy and not move around as much. But this is a way to keep things consistent to ensure you're not going to plateau. To put this in perspective, if you're burning 1 calorie extra per minute over 10 hours of being awake, you're gonna be burning an extra 600 calories. Now that alone there could be your caloric deficit. Now, if you remove that, you're gonna have to drop your calories another 600. So if you look at the math, it's better to ensure that you have consistent macros, you have consistent training, consistent cardio, and consistent steps. Once you hit a plateau, or if the rate of loss is slowing down, then I recommend making a change and ensuring you're pushing that caloric deficit by changing one of those variables. The more variables you can control, the more you can precisely predict how much weight you're going to lose per week. So as of right now, I'm gonna be getting ready to compete at WMBF Worlds in the Pro Physique class, and this is what I'm doing before I get into prep. So if you guys are looking to get ready for the summer and you feel like, the quarantine 15 hit you pretty hard, maybe you wanna do a mini cut now, get it back into a gain phase, and then do your summer cut. So you can really use this as a tool to prepare yourself for the future. One thing I do want to ask you guys is, do you ever perform a cut and you don't reach your desired body fat percentage in the time frame you want? Then this would be for you. Start your cut early, or add a mini cut in, get back into a gain phase so you can actually start off your longer cut at a better body composition. Now, if you're still struggling with this, or if you're still a little bit confused and you wanted an exact protocol, I do offer online fitness coaching where I've helped people at the top level, world-class athletes to beginners, and I've taken them to adjust their lifestyle so they won't just get to that 10 to 15% body fat, but so they can maintain it all year round. Now, if you're interested in working with me one-on-one and being able to transform, I do 100% guarantee results or your money back, because I am here to help out and want to ensure you get results. All you have to do is apply down below in the link, and then we can get in touch and see how I can help you out. On another note, this is not going to be a sales call. If I can't help you, I'll be straight up with you, as we'll create a game plan for you regardless if you do decide to work with me or not. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought. What are your goals this year? Are you trying to mini cut? Are you trying to cut? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.